What we're going to focus on today are I statements. It can change your world. The thing is, there are generally three ways that I statements can make positive changes, and we're going to go through those. But before I start on the three positive ways, I do want to talk about the one negative way, and that's related to ego. Ego is a good thing. Ego is present in all the positive methods because we need to boost our ego. Ego responds to self-esteem, to our self-worth. But when ego is negative, they either become egotistical or they have narcissistic type tendencies. And with both of those, the aim is to make themselves feel better and bigger than they actually are. So they're not being honest with themselves. They either want to control other people or make other people feel worthless or less than what they actually are. So when they're talking about themselves, and if you over ego yourself that you're really great at everything, I'm really good at this, I'm the best at this, and you're not being honest with yourself. And using I statements and affirmations and things like that is there to promote your self-worth, but not there to promote falsity. When you overload with ego, you become egotistical, and that's a falsity because it's not true. You're not great at everything. No one is, but you try. And I mean, the thing is, with if you're not good at something, you don't say a negative about I'm not good. You say I can improve on this, I can get better with this, and that's a good promoting sense. Whereas an egotist say I'm really good at this, I'm very good at this. And if they're talking to somebody else, they might say you're not very good at that, I'm better than you, or comments like that. So they're trying to control and make you feel worthless. But that's as much what I want to spend on the negativity, because with negativity there is always positivity, and we have three ways. And the first way is affirmations. Affirmations. I statements are very prevalent in affirmations, and they're used to raise your self-esteem, self-worth. It can be spoken aloud, or it can be just in your mind. It's up to you, and it's a positive way of saying good things to yourself and trying to maybe reprogram the brain. And the reason you do that in your thoughts is to promote a positive energy. Hopefully what you put out into the universe in terms of positive thoughts will come to fruition. An example, of those sorts of things, if you kept on saying negative stuff like I'm no good, nobody likes me, well, that will happen because you're putting it out there. But you say I am a really good person, I am loved by lots of people, that will put out there and it will become fruition. And you don't have to be spiritual minded to not believe in that. With positivity comes actuality. So you need to spread that out into the universe. And the key thing is, if we have a negative thought, is to change it with an I affirmation as quickly as possible into a positive. We need to deny that negative thought and then send out as quickly as we can a positive thought into the universe. So if you might be having oh gosh, I'm so silly, and then it's just a comment, it doesn't mean anything, but it's out there, so you need to change it. I make mistakes, that's okay, I'm going to do better next time. You just need to change it into an I affirmation. So use those I statements. I mean, in terms of affirmations, they were first found over 1,000 years ago in ancient Sanskrit. The Hindu religion is based on holy vibration. The Hindu saints used the affirmations to ease the suffering of their followers and guide them into self-realization, similar to self-actualization. As self-realization means the fulfillment of one's potential, so reaching one's potential. And that's what we want to do. That's why we're here on the earth, is to reach our potential. But there is a difference between affirmations and mantras. Mantras are based on the sounds and vibration into the universe to promote harmony with the world. In Sanskrit, mantra means thought that liberates and protects. So that's what they're out there for. Affirmations are I statements that help reprogram the mind and to keep it focused. Using affirmations leads to neuroplasticity. It's a big word, I know, but neuroplasticity refers to the physiological changes in the brain as a response to our interactions in our environment. And that's really important. And people who have gone through great diversity like abuse and things like that may have a very negative self-worth. So what you do is, with your thinking, you are thinking all those negative thoughts of, I'm not good enough, they're right, I'm bad at this, or things like that. Putting those sorts of affirmations into your physiological brain circuits creates that environment and creates that. A positive might be, you might go skydiving, and before you go skydiving you're worried, so you're created in that environment where you're nervous, you're fearing dying, the chute not opening, things like that. You're bringing fear in and leaving it to manifest in your brain, and you're creating that whole scenario. But once you actually do it, you're in this high about, oh, can I do it again? You've totally changed. The neuroplasticity in your brain has changed because your environment has changed. You now no longer believe that skydiving is fearful. You believe it's a fun, exhilarating experience. So experiences in your life can affect the neuroplasticity of your brain. But a physical example of this, and I watched some videos on neuroplasticity, is putting that thought pattern is my back muscles can stretch longer. I am flexible. And keep saying that to yourself. You try and touch your toes. I'm not going to do it on video for you, but you try and touch your toes. If you're lucky enough to still be flexible enough to do that first go, then it's not much of a thing. But those of us who are not as flexible, and you do it and you keep telling yourself I'm flexible, and then you do it again and you can feel your back muscles flexing and you reach the ground. It works. It's about training your brain. So neuroplasticity is a fantastic and really interesting subject to look at. But that is I affirmations, and that's what they are about. We need to create I affirmations. What you need to do is actually think about all the things that you're good at. Write a list down and then write an affirmation starting with I that says that what you're good at. I'm good at sharing. Those sorts of comments, and create those comments and keep saying them to yourself. You can either meditate on them if you want to do that, but you don't even have to go that deep. You just need to keep telling yourself. Make sure you're changing your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. At a later point, when you're really secure with yourself, maybe you write down some of the things you're not so good at, and then try and change them into I statements as well. An example might be I can't write a story, and then you want to change that into I can write a story, but I know I can get better. So you're improving on that and you're putting more positivity into it. It's really important. Alright, there are two other ways, really quick. The other is I emotional statements, and these are generally the same things as I statements and affirmations to yourself, but you're giving them to other people. So you're saying statements, and emotional language is so key into providing other people with their self-worth, increasing their self-esteem, and also their neuroplasticity. So we are part of their environment, so we are going to have an effect on how they perceive their environment. So saying positive things with I's, like I care about you, I love you, I'm proud of you. These types of emotional words are really, really important. It's be interesting to write a whole list of all the emotional positive words that you can think of and start using them in your vocabulary with the people around you. So I was a teacher, so I had loads of people around me, so I always said these things to people. I love your hair. Using the word love. I love what you did yesterday, that was really good. So in a workplace you can use it. Use these positive words and it creates a positive environment. So emotional statements are really important because they use those emotional positive words that we need to hear in this world at the moment. We need to be more positive about the things around us. It doesn't mean we need to be dishonest with what we're saying, because there is a lot of negativity around, but we do need to boost people up. The third one was de-escalation. De-escalation statements. Now these are times when you're actually maybe in an argument or an argumentative discussion, or you're not feeling great, so you're trying to de-escalate the feelings. Now when you're in an argument and you're saying you did this, you did that, you need to start using the word I, because no one is going to argue with you. If you're using the word you, they've got something to argue back with. I didn't do that, that sort of thing. So if you use the word I felt that you disrespected me. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I think differently. These are things. Use what you know about yourself, because they won't be able to argue with your own thoughts. I mean, some people will try, and as we talked, there are people, egotistical people and narcissists, that might try and differ on that, but generally the general population of the world are not going to argue back if you're saying I, because you're talking about your feelings. You're not begrudging or being negative towards someone else. Remember that every time we speak, words have power and meaning, and when it comes from one person, we may not be in tune to why they're saying those words, or the meaning of those words, or the emotion behind those words. That's why texting is the worst form of communication, because we do not know the emotion behind them, unless you do the little LOLs and things like that. You have to be very, very clear in your understanding if you are going to talk to people, and don't judge misunderstanding, inquire about it, question what they're saying. So what do you mean by that? That will help. And using I statements, I didn't like what you said, but I'm not sure whether you meant it hurtfully. So using those I statements is a nice way of communicating with people that you're not sure about what they're saying, so misunderstandings. So what I want you to do is write a list of the good things that you're doing. So a bit of homework, write a list, look at I statements yourself, and start writing a list of all the lovely emotional language words that you can use for yourself and for other people, and start using them and see what sort of reactions you get. And with the de-escalation I statements, if you're in an argument, stop, think about what you can say using an I statement about how you're feeling at the time. It might not solve the arguments, but it'll definitely de-escalate maybe the emotional intent on both sides. It just becomes an argumentative discussion rather than an argument. Sending healing thoughts to you all. Thank you for watching. Love and light to you all.